Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. And this is Voltaire who said it. And this is probably one of my most quoted things that I say to any creative I'm working with. I'm like, hey, you gotta get it done, right? So as creatives, we love doing the work. We love doing the process, and we love just, actually spending time creating stuff. And the reality is we can often get lost in the minutia that doesn't matter. This is why it's really good to have a creative team, by the way, because at the top level, you got someone who's speaking client and speaking done. And their job is like, what does done look like? What is the deliverables that the clients are expecting? And how do I get my team to there? It's never as simple as that, because there's always these layers around there, right? So ideally, you have someone who's super meticulous, focused on details. Then you have someone who's focused on the broader scheme of things. And then you have someone that's focused on done. And then that way you got a really cool creative team that can kind of filter through and make sure stuff gets done. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good means that is don't let perfect get in the way of getting it done. And so there are a lot of, even I still have like 5 projects I've never finished because I just want one more thing. You need to have that in you as a creative, because that's what makes the work so much better. But at the same time, you need to have a point where you need to say, this has got to go out into the world. Filmmakers know exactly what I'm talking about here, because filmmakers have to do this over and over again, this iteration after iteration. And there comes a point where you can actually get quite tired of this. And we've talked about stepping away and actually giving the work some time to rest in between. And this is exactly that. If you take some time and look at it and go, is this good enough to go out? Right? If it's not good enough, don't fucking send it out. Period. Please don't do that, because that's not who you are. You're there to make great creative work. You're there to make great work, whatever your field is. So ask yourself this: am I being too picky for picky's sake? Right? Am I thinking that one more thing is going to make a big difference? There comes a point, I think it's the bell curve, where there's an exponential growth in value, but then it gets to the top and it levels out. There's incremental little growth steps. And this is like, as artists, we know this because we get to this point, we start off, we learn a ton, and then it starts to slow down. That is the same in the projects. There comes a point where the project is good enough to go out to public. And that's what we need to learn to understand as creators. We can't just sit there on our projects like a dragon in a cave hoarding gold, because no one's going to get to enjoy that. This is designed to be enjoyed by others. So get the work out there. If you're sitting on a project right now that hasn't moved, it's probably because you're too worried about perfection and less about good enough. And I know good enough has got some negative connotations, so let me just put it this way. Have some levels of quality that you must hit. It's that easy. Have some quality levels that you must hit. And then after that, it's fair game. Like, send the project out there. And the reality is more often than not, we're scared that someone's going to judge the thing that we're putting out there. It's going to be judged. It's going to be critiqued. It's going to be torn apart. It's going to be held up high. All of these things are going to happen. But it won't happen if you don't release it. And if we can detach ourselves from the emotions for a second and look at the work for what it is, it's the work. And so there's some deeper existential things that we can start talking about, such as like, you are worth it, and you are worth, there's no value that I can put on any of you, because you're just worth so much. So the fact that you put a piece of work out there and expect it to reflect your worth in the world is just asinine and silly. So let's get that out of the way. It's, if people are judging you, that's their problem, not yours. So what you need to do is to start working on, how do I get my work to the point that I want to get it to before it goes out? That's it. Like, good enough is good enough. Like, that's the reality. Is we want to make sure that we're not killing the project before it gets started, because we just want to see it perfect. So get that perfect out of the way, and just, make it good enough. And there is another conversation that could be said about good enough being a negative, but that's not today. Like today is all about, if you've got something that's sitting on the back burner way too long, this is the way to push it out and to get it live, is to actually turn around and just accept the fact that it's good enough for the world. See, I told you it was going to be a long fucking